Good morning. This is a bit ad hoc and I don't know whether or not it's going to work, but we'll see. So today is the beginning of Stash Dash. If you don't know what Stash Dash is, it is a challenge where you challenge yourself to get as many projects finished as possible, to create the biggest amount of yardage completed. It's run by Leslie and Laura of the Knit Girls. And I thought I would take this opportunity to go through some of my works in progress. There's some here, quite a lot here. And as a result, I would show you around all of the project bags and things that I have and that I use. It's just kind of a good opportunity to introduce you to my brand as well. My brand is Hide and Hammer. We sell project bags for knitters, crocheters, needle punchers, embroiderers. We've got one that would probably be big enough for a weaver if you have a collapsible one. Yeah. So I thought I'd show you some of the things I've started, how long they've been there, and we'll go for a little voyage of discovery with all of the stuff that's in the bags that I forgot about. So let's start with the one that's been on the needles the longest. Maybe. Full disclosure, our workshop is above a dog grooming parlour. If you hear dogs in distress, they're not in distress, they're under good care. So, and I also have my dog here, so he might come and talk to me. Can you come say hi? Right, so let's start with the oldest one. This is a project bag I made out of an old, oh there he is. Actually, what's his? Oh hello. Oh yes, hello. This is Hutch. He's a Vizsla. The Vizsla Reed first child, neediest child, and a child that likes to sit on you. They call them Velcro dogs or shadows, and they couldn't be more right. Anyway, so I made this years ago, like 10 years ago? Not quite 10. 8 years ago, 9 years ago. It's made out of an old sail. And in here, I have a boxy sweater. This is as far as I've got with it. I might have started it probably around maybe 5, 6 years ago. Maybe slightly later because it was probably after my daughter was born. So I think, yeah. I have all of the yarn in here. The reason there's no balls attached to it is because I managed to tangle everything up. I'm using Old Maiden Art yarns in the Mother's Milk colourway, which is a reference to Firefly. If you've ever watched Firefly, it's one of my favourite programmes. It's, oh, I love it so much, and so yeah. But this yarn is so beautiful, and I'm kind of sad that I haven't finished it / worked on it in a while. I did a little split hem on it, and you can see I did a fancy cable at the end to make the split hem sit properly, which I was very proud of myself at the time. And I forgot about that little detail. Maybe I'll put it back off, like into production again. I might make it a bit smaller. I don't know if I'm a giant. Well, I like my giant sweaters. I just don't know whether or not I can bring myself to put that amount of time into it. Certainly not for this Stash Dash anyway. But that's that. And then we get on to like the Hide and Hammer kind of current range of project bags. I do use other people's project bags as well. I've got some really lovely ones. It just so happens that because I'm constantly sort of photographing and working with them, with these ones, I tend to mostly carry my work around in my bags. It's a good way of working out if there's any adjustments needed or anything too. So if you've been a customer of mine or you've followed us for a while, you'll recognise this one. This is a giant 01. It's the bag that we started with very, very many years ago, maybe 7 years ago I started the Etsy shop with it in. So it's a huge, squishy Italian leather bag. And in here, I've got to pronounce this right. I think it's Sally. I'm sure it's Sally. Alex is screaming this at me through the TV. It is Sally, isn't it? It is! Did it. And I love this. I fell in absolute love with it when Alex let me look at the pattern, not the pattern, the sample when she was making it. So this is the Sally sweater by Alex Bird. And I cannot tell you how incredible this detail is down the side, and actually how much easier it is than I ever thought it was going to be. I took one of Alex's classes, oh gosh, a long time ago, pre-COVID, and I'm so glad that I did. She makes it so easy. If you've got an opportunity to take a class with Alex, like, it's brilliant. So many techniques. She is a wealth of knowledge. And so I really want to get this finished. I started it as a test knit for her. Sorry, the shame. I started it as a test knit for her and then I never finished it. I think I was pregnant. I fell pregnant at the time. I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but as soon as I'm like the last few years have been a blur. So I'm going to show you how far I've got and my colours, because I am really proud of this and I want to get it finished because it's so beautiful. So this is how far we've got, and I'm using navy blue and I'm using a bright pink and a bright yellow as the contrast. I really like the sort of dog's huffing, slightly like military aspect to it, you know, the brocade and the thing, and I like that. So that's as far as I've got. So I've got a few more repeats to go, and I have long arms, so it's going to be a little while. This is one of the things that I would really like to get finished because I think it will fit me again now, and I think it's just gonna look fabulous. Covered in dog hair. Wonder why. Looking at you, Hutch. Yeah. I think it's gonna look fabulous. So I'm so pleased with it. And again, like, if you ever get the opportunity to take a class with Alex, do, because she is a wonderful human being. I'm using Mondim, which is a Rosa Pomar. So the base of this yarn, I really wasn't sure about. It's the same thing I did with my Queen of Diamonds sweater that I knit earlier this year, or finished earlier this year. I wasn't sure about it because I thought it would be a bit too rustic. I have delicate skin. I'm a lady. No, I'm not. I do have fairly sensitive skin, or a fairly loud brain, that as soon as my brain goes, oh, that's not, then that's all I can think about all day. However, this yarn is really super, and the swatch that I did of it and then blocked came up really nicely. So I'm confident that this will be a really comfortable wear, and I can't wait to get it finished. Ooh, lots of exciting things in here. What have we got going on? I've got a needle gauge that I've forgotten about. Oh, and the keys for the cable, needles, of course. So I've got a ton of Hide and Hammer stitch markers. Quite a few of them actually. Right, and I've got, oh look, oh, I have been in here recently. A cable with our needle clips on. Oh look. Oh, that's brilliant fun. Look, it looks like I'm wearing them as glasses. So I developed the needle clips a while ago to keep my cable needles in place. They're all available on our website, so you can pop them around cables and things to keep them in your bags. I've got a little tin of stitch markers from Nora George Yarns and end stoppers. Oh, I'm sure I was looking for those the other day. Never mind. There you go, hey? All of the stuff. So that's one I would really like to start working on again. And I might do that before it gets a bit hot because it's getting warmer here in the UK and having a hot sweater on your lap is going to go really well. So what else have we got? Ah yeah, here we go. Let's start with one of these. So these are the appropriately named or inappropriately named ball bag. We sold the mustard ones, the second drop that we did. This is a mustard oilskin one here, and in here, I think we've got some of the camouflage ones left on the website at the moment, and they're so good. In here, I have socks, and this is, so the neon pink is a coupe knit sock, yeah, and the bit in the middle is the Wool Kitchen, Helen. How cool is that? Yeah. It's got pops of pink, blue, yellows, greens, all sorts in there. So I'm one sock down. Ta-da! I need to put the heels in them. And I've got this one. I need to put the heel in this one too. And then we're done. But as you can see, sort of, this bag is great. If I roll it down, you can see. Its bag is so good because I have everything I need in here. And I will put like another little pocket in here with one of our envelope pouches in, and it's got like it's got my brain is not catching up with me, tapestry needles and things in. So everything goes around the outside, and then I can store my finished stock. This is the bit I love about these bags, absolutely love. It's the thing I loved about the O2s as well. Every time you're knitting socks, you can store your finished sock at the bottom, so you don't have to leave it anywhere, because I always refer back to it before I put the heel and things in. Your ball of wool on top of that, and then this goes nicely wrapped up on top, and you can even use the tiny small pockets at the back to tuck your needles into so they don't get squished or upset in any way. So those are going to be a really, hopefully a quick and easy finish for Stash Dash. So I'm looking forward to getting those done because I do love, I do love a pair of hand knit socks, especially when I finish them. That is a thing. What else have we got? Right. Ball bag number 2. We've got a die pyramid hat that I'm working on. So this is a DK weight hat, DK weight double knit. For those of you who are new to knitting, I'm doing it in a low contrast. So not something I've done before, but I actually really quite like it, and I think it's going to come up really beautifully. There you go. So I've made die pyramids before, I made 1.5. I made one for my sister-in-law, and I made a little matching one for my daughter when my daughter was a tiny baby, so they had little matching hats. So I've always wanted one for myself, so I made this one out of Stranded Dye Works. Jude's colours were Yesterday's Bouquet, which is the paler one, and Pigeon Fancier, which is this one here. And these are in my, so this is one of my hand dyed bags. Check me out. It's an ice dyed ball bag, and I really fell in love with the way that this canvas is taken. I really like it, so this became one of mine. And in here I've got the 2 balls. I've got what's left of that one and this one. Oh, bonk. I don't think I've got any notions in there. No, I haven't. But you can see, this is the one I use for when I'm walking a dog, or at the park with the kids. You can see you've got pockets around the outside there as well. Okay, so that was not very exciting. Or what random stuff I have in there. Let's put all that back in there. Ba-ba-da-bam. Yeah, I find I get most of my knitting time done at the moment walking the dog, because I can walk and knit and do socks and stuff at the same time. I can even do like rounds of sweaters if it's not too heavy. So I usually wear one of my crossbody 07s, one of the bags that we've got, because that holds everything like next to me, or I use one of the ball bags because I can put that on my wrist, and that's nice and easy too. I don't get a lot of knitting time at the moment. What else have we got? Ooh. This isn't actually a project. It's kind of I frogged it, but I really love the yarn. We're going to make it into a project. So this is one of our denim ball bags. And this is a really beautiful brooch that a friend of mine made for me. Isn't it gorgeous? So talented. And so, yeah, this is Shirley Bryan yarns. I don't know the colourway name because I have since lost the really useful tag that goes on it. But look at this, is a gradient. Oh my goodness. So I've got two of those. They're both 50 grams. Oh, I haven't lost the tag, it's just inside there. Yeah, I'm not doing that now. So I'm planning on making, I saw Carmen do a review on her blog of 52 Weeks of Socks, the second edition, volume 2. And I really want to make the squishy brioche socks out of this, because I think that'd be really interesting with the colour changes. So I've kind of earmarked that. Oh look, there's a pebble. I take these bags everywhere, and this one in particular has come to the beach with us recently when we went away in February. And we go to the same beach every time, but it's just a lovely stretch of sand and not a lot of people know about it. And it's lovely. And my daughter likes to fill my pockets with pebbles, and my project bags apparently too. It's quite a nice, there's something really pleasing about a pebble. Okay, next up, what we got? Oh, let's do this one, because this one's fun. So earlier this year we released the iced dye style bags. They're these ones here. They are a printed canvas based on an original dye by Jill of Jilly Beans Yarns, and they are amazing. We offered them with neon handles, yellow and blue, but I have put pink ones on mine so I know which one my bag is. And in here I have a collection of very interesting things. This is my hand spun, so there's a lot more than I thought there was going to be on here. It's 220 grams of hand spun here, and I've paired that with 200 grams of Walcott Origin. I don't know the colourway, sorry, but I'm going to make a brioche shawl with that one because there's nothing nicer and squishier. And I haven't brioche in a really long time, and I miss it a lot. Oh, I've got lots of needles going on here. Ta-da! It's like a birthday cake of needles. Right then. And in here, this is where the interesting thing happens. You can see I've got a pair of child-safe craft scissors, because never not mummy. Stitch markers, a birthday cake, rainbow birthday cake stitch marker, if you can see that. Oh no, camera's that side. Brilliant. A little wee piggy. Oink oink. Little wee piggy. There we go. And what else have we got? More needles. So you can see inside the bag here, we've got, I've got needles here, and then you can put, there's the 3 long pockets there that you can put 1, 2, 3, all of your bits and pieces into. There's another short pocket, another pocket there. So going to put those in there. But what I really normally choose to do, oh look, brilliant. All right, I've got some rusty iron nails. Let's do a challenge, random stuff that you find in your project bag. Rusty iron nails that came out of, I think one came out of my tyre, maybe. One was they're definitely old school from like the finds and things that we pick up when we go walking the dog and bits and pieces like that. But they're like handmade ones, or they would have been handmade. Just quite cool. What else have I got? Oh yeah. I have got a wee cookie. I love cookies. And a strawberry, because, you know, I believe in balance. Fruit and cookies. Some more stitch markers. And then, glowy. What makes my eyes glow? I keep saying, it's a thing, it's a tick I have, I'm sorry. In here, this is the 03 leather pocket pouch. They are designed specifically to fit in the back pocket of the 03, and it keeps all my notions in here. It means I can just pick up this and swap it between project bags, and I know that I've always got everything I need in it. Scissors. I don't know why I've got a crocodile clip, but I have my magnetic leather cuff, also from Hyde & Hammer. I have my Cocoa Knits row counter that you can put on your leather cuff. You can also put stitch markers on your cuffs. I use it mostly for weaving in ends as well, because you always know where your needles are then. Needles and scissors stick to that really nicely. Yep, one of my most used pieces of kit, and one of the pieces of kit that I don't shout about enough. So there we are, shouting about the magnetic leather cuff today. I've got my little envelope pouch here, which has got spare needles, it's got needle grips, and it's got, not spare needles, it's got needle grips, cables, and things, because I use interchangeable needles, so it's got all of those bits in there. And I've got my stitch marker case in there as well, which also has needles in. And I've got, I picked these up at a vintage fair, I've got a little miniature tiny wee crochet hook that I use for picking up stitches. You won't be able to see it because of my face. Something like that. Ooh. There we go. Oh, I don't know if this video is ever going to make it onto the internet or not. If it does make it onto the internet, please don't judge. It's a Friday. It's just a Friday. It's just a Friday. It's just a Friday. So, that's project number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I can go back in there. 6, project number 6. Can go back in there. Am I making you feel better about your works in progress pile yet? I want to say WIP pile, but then that sounds like a completely different audience. No judgment, just a completely different audience. Right. Drinking cacao this morning because I'm trying to maintain steady energy levels rather than the crazy that I normally embody. Embody's a good word. Oh, so this is the jumper. This is our waxed oilskin canvas, green. One of my favourite bags. Love the waxed oilskin, like proper oilskin. We've got some of the mustard ones, which I'll show you in a minute, available still. This is a jumper I started making for my daughter and then never finished. I designed the pattern myself. I need to get back on that again to find the journal that I wrote it all down in. But yeah. So I started making it for her as a Christmas jumper last year and then never got any further with it. So we've got living in here. Oh, there's no interesting notions. Well, that's mildly upsetting. Just all of the yarn. All of the yarn. Hutchie, on your bed, please. Thank you. We'll go out again in a minute. You're fine. Next up, pile of needles. Don't sit on them. Oh, this is my second inclination shawl, third inclination shawl. And instead of hello, what's up? I don't want you to lick me in the face. What are you doing? No. You're not coming up. It's a work sofa, you're not coming up. Not happening. So this one, go and sit down please, on your bed. Lie down, please. Lie down. Thank you. Third inclinations, however, I am making this out of sport weight yarn because I made this hand spun gradient years ago and I really want to use it. And I used one of my hand spun things in my first inclinations, but I did it with I mixed it with worsted. And I just thought that doing a sport weight version, it'll take longer, obviously, but I've paired this with some spin cycle dyed in the wool, and I've got like a great collection of bits and pieces and like half balls of it and stuff that I've used for other projects and ones that didn't work out. So I'm gonna sort of see how the colour shift goes with this and keep going. And I really want to work on this actually. I like the way that the spin cycle brings out some of the other colours in my hand spun. It just seems to work really well together. And the light's not great in here, it's quite yellowy. There you go, it's better. But, oh, excuse me, I didn't sneeze, mate. It's really good car knitting, or it's really good, like, it's easy knitting for me. Because, oh God. It's repetitive enough to be mindless, but because there's a engaging pattern and you have to make sure that you're doing the increases in the right place, it's engaging enough to be interesting. Repetitive enough to be mindless, engaging enough to be interesting, yes. All of the things that I look for in a pattern. Well, like that anyway. And also I really want the finished object because I'd really like to wear it and wrap up in it. And I'm just going to keep making it bigger and bigger because the shawl that I have that I made, or the inclination shawl that I have that I made it oversized, and I think even with blocking it and stretching it out I could have made it a bit bigger. So I'm onto my last bag, but I know this isn't my last project because at home I've got the massive I-cord blanket that I will also share at some point. It's living in my hide and hammer basket because it outgrew every project bag, but the leather baskets are a great container for it. So I will share that because I need to share more of the baskets with you too. And I've got the emergency car knitting socks in my car. I laugh, but it's true. I have emergency car knitting socks just in case. Oh, what have we got here? Ah, right. So a little while ago I shared on my Instagram how I organise my 03 project bag, and I do it with one of our tie top bags. So I should have introduced this one really. This is a linen tie top bag that we have from, it's an EU laundered linen and it's so beautiful. It is one of those project bags that just is so good for everything. So you can take it to farmers markets, you can take, I do a lot of beach combing with these. I use it for compartmentalising my backpack. I put kids snacks in them. They're great for picnics. They're just so good for everything. They're really good as well if you've got a project like this that you're not immediately working on. You can pull it out of your O3, you can tie it up and you can put it on the shelf. You always know which colour it is because you can link it all in your Ravelry or wherever you organise your projects. So you could just say project inclinations is in the grey and white check bag, which is actually how I organise my stash. Sorry, my curated collection of yarn, not stash. Insulation, how I organise my insulation. So when I've got them in here, so this is our Hide and Hammer oilskin in the mustard, and we've only got a few of these left. They're a limited edition. What I do is I put the project itself and the yarn I'm actually using, the yarn balls I'm actually using in the top, and then all of the extra yarn goes underneath. So I've got the spare balls of the main colour and the spare balls of the contrast colour in there, like this. And then all of my notions and everything go around the outside, although I appear to be notion short, except for a Travel Knitters tin, which I love because it's an old vintage ticket print. There. And that's from the Travel Knitter. Ta-da! She's fabulous. I love the tin. What else have I got in there? Anything interesting? Oh, look, I've got a little Cornish pasty from Stitches and Cream. Ah, Cornish pasty. Love it. And that was from my trip, my first ever trip to Stitches and Cream, and it won't be my last because they are fabulous. They've got a lovely collection of things in there. Right, so I organise all of that in the bottom because I am an anxious person, and if I go out without all of the balls, or I go away without all of the balls, I know I'll need them. However, if I travel with all of them, I won't need them. One of those conundrums. So in here, I will show you the project I'm working on. What I do is I put it over the top like this, so I can work out of it. Oh, my nose, sorry. And I in here have, so those are the two balls that are in use. This is my Myara sweater, and it is really fun. So it's all bunched up at the moment, but you can see that through the yoke, you are going to end up with these amazing colour shifts. And so I'm using Opus in the goldenrod colourway, and that is by Woolcott Yarns, and I'm using, I know it's Spin Cycle, I know it's dyed in the wool, but I cannot remember the name of it. Salty Dog, is it? Ghost Ranch. See, everyone was shouting it at me. I was like, oh my god, it's Ghost Ranch, it's gotta be Ghost Ranch. It's such a well-known colourway, Fanula. That's my real name, by the way. I go by Nu, but my real name is Fanula. My given name, should I say, is Fanula, but it's got G's and H's in, and it is a interesting spell. So, this is my Myara. This is the one that I most want to get finished, I think. It's not going to be a quick win because it's a sport weight, but it's the one I most want to wear. Yeah, it's a toss-up between this one and the Sally, but it's the one I think I really most want to wear. Carmen has one. Carmen has two that she's always had on her stand since she had it released, and it's the one that I kept stealing when we were in Woolen in 2019, and I love it. I might put some serious knitting time into that one. Anyway, this has been lovely, delightful, fantastic. Welcome to the crazy. So it started off as just a video to show you all of my works in progress and the knitting bags that I carried them in, and it turned into a half an hour long ramble. So I'm not surprised if you've not made it this far, but if you have, thank you very much. And if you've got any questions about the bags, what are you doing? Or the dog? If you've got any questions about the bags, then do let me know and I will try and answer them in a shorter episode so that people stick around. Thanks so much. Have a lovely Friday and yeah, bye. What are you doing?